So we opened our own family office and we invested a majority into multifamily around nationwide, and also in VCs and so forth. So with that, we've been in this world for many, many years. And the whole thing about this is that where I want to go is that not having a degree doesn't stop you from being able to be successful in life. We were able to create two amazing businesses. We still have the real estate, and right now in that real estate company, we have about $750 million invested in the market, and we own it with no investors. We strictly, myself and my husband, and we manage all of our business needs, everything that we want, and it's all because we decided that we had a goal. We know what we wanted. We didn't want to be working for anybody. We wanted to have our own business and create our own empire. And we've been able to do so just by having the want, the need, the perseverance, the tenacity. And, that's why I love what you're doing, because if I would have had that, I would have probably been a little bit more, I would have done it sooner. And then now, 4 years after, I've been working on something that I love, the finance world. The finance world, it really brings me a lot of satisfaction because small and medium-sized businesses remind me a lot of where we come from, right? We just wanted to start with $0, no knowledge, no nothing, and we just wanted to create our own business. A lot of small to medium-sized businesses, they're not bankable, right? Banks say no to them. They don't have the business, the time in business. They don't have the financials, and banks just want to be secured, making sure that these businesses. So the only ones that really get financial backing here are the big businesses. So what happens to these small and medium-sized businesses that are really the backbone to our economy? It's who really drives the communities. So I've been always very passionate about that. So I decided that I wanted to open a commercial capital brokerage. And what is that? Is the same thing that we started back when me and my husband started, but in a firm. Nobody taught us. We had to be self-taught, and how to get those businesses, how to get the actual business to come to you for you to be able to get in business. So as a real estate agent brokerage, you know what that is, right? A realtor goes into an agent and they could put their license with them, and they give them the marketing materials. They teach them how to do it. They give them leads. They teach them networking. They have the branding out there. So anybody that wants to be a realtor, hey, I'm with Kai's Realty, I'm with Compass, I'm with this. Okay, they're able. So in the commercial capital world, which is lending for equipment, giving working capital, commercial loans to buy multifamilies, to buy a warehouse, to buy anything you want within the real estate business, you need experience. So there's a niche of lenders that do it, but they're very hidden. You have to know who is, and you have to get approved as a broker for them to be able to allow you to bring them business. So what I'm creating with the help of Ty is a structure where I'm soliciting women in particular. I can't say that I'm only doing women legally wise, but I am targeting women, and I'm teaching them how to become entrepreneurs with this vehicle that I have that is needed all nationwide for small and medium-sized businesses to get working capital, equipment leasing, a commercial mortgage, and so forth. So with the Rain Finance Group, I'm bringing that out and having women. For example, a lot of my avatars are either realtors that thought, I don't want to go to school and I want to be a realtor, and they get to the real estate industry, especially here in South Florida, very competitive, and they really can't get far with the real estate license, right? There are so much competition, and they get bored and they're like, okay, now what do? I don't want to, I don't know what to do. Bringing them on board, I'm able to give them, let them be their own self-entrepreneur, but with a purpose. We have, a way of getting them business, and not like a realtor that has so much competition in the commercial capital world. Not that you don't have competition, but it's very limited. So that one, a mom that was a career woman decided to be a stay-at-home mom. Now their child are in school and they are lost. They don't know what to do. They don't want to go back to the corporate world because they still want to have the time to be mom, pick up the kids at school, go to their games, where this allows you to have the freedom of time, because you could work as much or as little as you want with my business, because if you want to make $10,000, you make 10,000. If you want to make 100,000, it's the time and the effort that you put into it is what you're going to receive back, right? So with that is the company that I'm putting together, because I'm just, again, passionate about helping small businesses, small and medium businesses, and also helping an individual that wants to open their own business or is confused on what to do with their life. And I'm giving them the opportunity to give them the vehicle with the tools of being out there and being an entrepreneur and creating something that is helping both themselves and a business owner be able to create their future and their dreams. So, yes. Thank you. Thank you. So, yes, I don't know if you want questions.
Yeah, no, Sofia's been, and that's only a part of this. Right?
Yep.
She's involved in several charities and nonprofits as well, and just overall has a mission, a very, very concentrated mission to really empower and grow women through entrepreneurship, using this as a vehicle. No doubt that this is only one of many more ventures to come.
Yes. Yes. So I don't know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them.
How were you able to become the lender itself?
So we were in the business since 1995 until 2001. So, we had 6 years of learning the business. So we, knowing that our goal at the end of the day was to become a lender, we started really looking into, when we would lend, we would work with a lender, we would really study what are they doing, what do we need to do to be a lender, and being a private lender, because we were using private funds, we didn't need to go based on the regulations of a bank. So we had very lenient regulations, because if we lost the money, it was our money. So you can't tell me how I didn't have investors. So we started just stacking. We have a saying that we say, stack and rack. We stack our money to rack it into an investment. So we started just saving money to make sure that we could have enough to fund 1 or 2 deals. We started off just really small. We would still be brokering deals, but then we had our money that we had put away, and we brought in that banker that I told you. He had a banking license, which allows you to deal with a bank, sell them loans. So I don't know if any of you have a mortgage, but when you have a mortgage, have you ever had a letter that says we've sold off your mortgage to so-and-so bank? Well, that's what we would do. We would buy that loan, we would fund it with our own money, and then we would go to a bank and say, hey, we have a book of $1 million of loans that are performing. Do you want to buy them? And that, having that license with our partner that we brought in, allowed us to sell off loans to a bank. So community banks will love our loans, because small community banks don't understand how to receive business. They're not a salesperson. They don't have sales. They expect walk-in business, and walk-in business sometimes is not enough. So we would go to them, hey, you need loans that are performing, we have them for you. So we started creating a community of banks that they knew already we had loans. So they would now come to us and say, hey, we need $10 million of loans. We need $2 million of loan. We need $500,000 of loan, whatever it is. We started piling those loans up with our own money, then selling it back to them. We would get that money that we would get it from the bank when we would sell it to them. Now we had a bigger trench of money to go get other loans. With that being little by little, we were able to grow the company as a lender. So we had to start one loan at a time,
Yeah.
step by step. It was not easy. Yes.
I love how there's two things. One is that you were paying attention to needs, and that you just kept responding and responding and responding, following like the breadcrumbs.
Yes.
And then also really focused on building relationships, right? These relationships that you had with these banks, and then you just keep working with
Yes.
them. They trust you. You have this developed and this foundation with them, and they kept buying these loans
100%.
and mortgages,
Yep.
right? So these two things together are really beautiful to see long term over decades of cultivating.
Networking is one of the most important things. If I would ever get somebody to ask me, and they're always asking because real estate here in South Florida is, everybody wants to be in real estate, and they always ask, how can I get in the real estate business or investment world that I receive deals, that I don't have to go hunt for deal, well, relationships. It's very, very important in the banking world. It is extremely important. I was at a conference this week, and I had two banks that, because I'm going to start off as a broker. I don't want to start off as a lender right now with this business, because I'm trying to put the blueprint together. Want to make sure that it's solid before we go to the next step. And two banks didn't know who I was on paper. You're submitting something, the employees are looking. When I got there and I said, "Hi, so-and-so, remember me?" They're like, "Of course, oh my God, how are you?" I'm like, you know what, I applied to be a broker to your firm, and they denied me because of time in business. Because being a broker, they want to have 2 solid years on these bigger banks. Immediately, they're like, "Who denied?" I'm like, they're like, "What?" I'm like, yeah, and they didn't want to hear that I had a prior, experience with my own company. They're like, right there and then, I was able to get approved, them to accept me with my new company as a broker. If I didn't have that relationship, they would have never, I would have had to wait for the 2 years in business with my new company, right? But relationships in any industry is the most important. You want your reputation to be, like a diamond. You want to shine with your reputation. You always want to make sure that when they mention your name, they're like, "Yep, that person's extremely reputable, reliable, kind." Everything you do in business, it's so important, because that's the only way that they're going to really say, respect you as a business owner, respect that the business is a real business, because if you're the face of the company at the end of the day, and you also want to make sure that your employees also carry that, down the line. Because, for example, right now, the company that I'm in, that I'm opening, I'm going to have reps out there, right? I can't control them when they're on the street, or introducing themselves, or how they behave at a networking event, right? Because I can't be next to them. But that's something that it's going to be very important when we train them, right? That they are known to, you're representing my company. My reputation's extremely important. Networking is extremely important, and I need you to respect that. And it's going to be a culture. And when I had my other company, till this day, that company's still open, and it's doing. We sold at a $1 billion evaluation. Right now, that company is being evaluated at $7 billion. So, it's a company that still has a lot of runway. But if you go into that company and you go see the employee, the culture that's in that company is beyond. You will go ask them, and they're still, they talk about myself, my husband, and because we created a culture, we call them our partners. Without them, we cannot build the business that we created. So networking with even your own employees is a very important thing, because, employees could come and go, agents could come and go. So you want to make sure that even that carries along. Let's say they do want to go elsewhere, or they want to go on their own. Your name, your company, you still want it to be said, "You know what, I went on my own just because I wanted to, but this is an amazing company. They taught me so much. The owners are great." That is still a very valuable thing that you want to do in networking. I can't even tell you
It's
this.
like a credit score for, but
This-
your business.
This is so important. You know, even here in this table, even if it's only 5, 6, 7, it doesn't matter. You don't know with who you could be doing business with within this table that could bring you a huge, you know, win. So it's a very important thing when it comes down to networking.
Yeah, and you have that personality also, like it sounds like.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
if
yeah.
it's
Oh, I'm a
like,
yeah, I love it.
maybe like more behind the scenes.
Yeah, my
like
husband
more-
doesn't like networking.
Right, so
It's
you-
very important, but
Yeah.
yes, I'm more of the outgoing out there when it comes down to networking, and he's a back person. He loves the business structures and stuff. Yes.
Love
So,
that.
so we're going to shrink 20 years to 10 figures into 5 years.
Yes, yes, exactly. I wish I would, you know, and mentoring and having coaches is so important. Look, I'm a experienced business owner, right? I've been in business for many years. I've done many businesses. I still need a coach. Like, I can't do what he's helping me with. I'm going to go out there and I execute. I'm an innovator and an executor, but when it comes down to doing office work, putting together the business structure, that's not my strength. And that's another thing that you need to understand. So when you're building a business, you need to put in place who is going to be that right person and delegate and create partners, right? Because for me at this point, anybody that's helping me create this is my partner. You're not my employee, and you're a part of me. You're a part of the company. We are partners because, again, without these individuals, I can't execute what I have in here.